good afternoon and welcome to Chatty Walks with Angela. My name is Angela, and while we're just getting the stream set up, just wandering around Trafalgar Square randomly, I might do a bit of chatting as well. But I thought we'd join the tourists. And there are a lot of tourists in Trafalgar Square. I have a quality control tech support with me.
Hello.
Hello, which
Hey.
is Luke.
It's Luke here, yeah.
Now, somebody else has joined. Hello, whoever you are. Can you hear me? Because we don't know if the audio is working.
Yes, we have
hello,
our
it's
IBS
Ibrahim.
with us.
As you may know, yes, we're very aware. I'm so sorry to hear that, Ibrahim, and I know we've exchanged some messages. You can hear it. Ibrahim can hear you. Yay!
Yeah.
Hey there. We're in Trafalgar Square. So noisy. It really is. So, thank you for joining, Ibrahim. I hope this is of some support to you. I think which must be an impossible time for you at the moment. So let's have a wander around Trafalgar Square. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Ibrahim. I really appreciate that. Let's just join the crowds and look at the crowds. I'm just going to show you these crowds. Just crowds and helicopters. Let's see if I can catch the helicopter. There it is. Just above the church. Look at that. It looks like something out of a film, doesn't it? Kind of expect King Kong to turn up on the top of there. It's one of those days in London today. Would you agree, Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a day in London at the moment. Now, Ibrahim, as you're here, I am showing you the Canadian Embassy. Now, the Canadians have slowly been taking over this building for quite a while, actually. So I think it was maybe the Royal College of Surgeons or something like that for a while. All sorts of different uses. And slowly the Canadians have taken on, sorry about the rubbish in the beginning of the shot there. Slowly the Canadians have been taking over more of this building. I'm going to run across this road. Right, a sec. Here we go. So here's the Canadian Embassy. If you're of a Canadian disposition, it might be a place that you've been. Yep, there it is, Canada House. Or La Maison du Canada. There you go, best French on Cockspur Street. So we are just going to wander around. We're just going to wander around Trafalgar Square, see what's going on. If I can remember any of my facts and figures about Trafalgar Square, I will tell you, just in case you don't believe me. There you go. Trafalgar Square, we are there. As I say, Cockspur Street there with the Canadian flag. Oh, I think we'll do a full circuit. We'll just do a full circuit around Trafalgar Square. Whee! Okay, let's go this way. So past Canada House. Oh, what have we got here? So we've got a little map here. I haven't seen this before. There. Hey. Oh, so this panel is celebrating the 150th anniversary of Canadian Confederation through the British North America Act. Let that lorry go by. The provinces of Canada, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick were united into the self-governing Dominion of Canada on the 1st of July 1867. So I've learnt. Now it's telling us that Canada House is the home to the High Commission of Canada, the National Gallery, St Martin in the Fields we can see in the distance. So sort of straight across Trafalgar Square is, thank you Ibrahim, straight across Trafalgar Square, and all the best to you as well. Straight across the Trafalgar Square is South Africa House, and then you've got King Charles statue, but obviously most importantly you have Nelson's Column right there in the middle. I'm going to walk around, and as I said, if I can remember bits and pieces. I don't have my notes with me today, because I lost them. So it's more a matter of trying to remember whatever I can. Yes, huge Canada Day celebrations, I can quite imagine. So let's look at the people up on the bus. Hey there, guys and girls. Hope you're enjoying your bus tour. As we continue past Canada House, and I love all the bits of French. And I'm sorry, it's really noisy here. So contactez-nous and réseaux sociaux for your. I just love that. It just fascinates me that it's dual language, French and English there. So here we have the fourth plinth. Don't know if they've got a plaque that I can read out to you because I would hate to say something wrong. Yeah, the big German Christmas market is pretty cool actually, and I think it's great. And the stuff about the Christmas tree. So every year we have the Christmas tree from Norway, from Oslo. So it's the Christmas tree from Norway started in 1947 to thank the British for the help they gave to the Norwegians during the Second World War. Now I could cross, but I don't want to get run over. Hold on, I'm going to go for it. Let's go. Sainsbury wing of the National Gallery. Oh, cars coming. Run, 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 run. So we could continue on to the West End. Hey Falcon, how are you? Nice to see you on the stream. Thank you for coming. It's nice to see you turn up here. As I said, this is kind of a random stream. I was a bit anxious because I'm not very good technologically, but I really wanted to do a stream amongst the tourists. We have no idea how many tourists were going to be here.
There are huge crowds today. So many crowds.
I think we're too used to London outside of the tourist season. So, oh my goodness. So anyone who wants to see the UK, London with tourists, just stay. You'll just see them everywhere. It's amazing and nuts. But anyway, yeah, so the Christmas tree. So the Christmas tree arrives here in Trafalgar Square 12 days before Christmas. And it's the big opening ceremony, and I did it once. Ibrahim fancies showing up in his gear. And we could just stand outside the Canadian embassy, couldn't we? Sorry, just can I show you this, by the way? This is a queue. This is a queue into the National Gallery. So we're right in front of the National Gallery. It says 200 years of the National Gallery. Now, I don't know if this is the queue for the whole of the gallery or for a particular exhibit. Cleverer people than me maybe could put something like that in. And if you're watching this on catch up afterwards, do feel free to put it into comments, anything that I've misunderstood or got wrong. Some fat skills there, fat with a PH, as I believe they're called amongst the youngsters. So yes, every year, 12 days before Christmas, get the Christmas tree. Every year, it's a source of fun and amusement. Yes, derisive comments, very derisive comments every year about the Christmas tree. And you see, it's a tricky one because people say that it's just decorated in the style of a Norwegian Christmas tree. Not that we're being ripped off with a dodgy old Christmas tree, but we're given a nice Christmas tree, specially chosen for us, and decorated a la Norwegian style. So every year you get these rude comments about the Trafalgar Square Christmas tree and the embarrassment of it and all those sorts of things. I don't know, I don't mind it. It looks a bit skinny, a bit minimalist, fine by me. We take a view over Trafalgar Square amongst the flies that are flying around us at the moment. So there's Nelson's Column. And they could it took a parliamentary committee in the end to get Nelson's Column put up there, some 30 years after he died at the Battle of Trafalgar at the hands of a French sniper. So here's the fourth plinth, and I actually looked this one up and now I can't remember what it is. Let's see if there's something I can tell you that's a bit more knowledgeable of who these guys are up there. I got some ideas, but I would much rather get an official write-up if I can find one. And it hasn't got one here. Just walk round the other side. So I'd feel really stupid if I gave you all the wrong information. Last time I was here there was a cherry or something like that. Let's come down here. Here we go, got it. Oh, water on the screen. Water on the screen. Okay. So this is Antelope. See if I can get that right up there. Yeah, this is a special place, I think, Ibrahim. Oh, sorry, I'm bending the phone a little bit. It's going to turn sideways. This is Antelope. Restages a photograph of Baptist preacher and Pan-Africanist John Chilembwe and European missionary John Chorley as a sculpture. Photograph was taken in 1914 at the opening of Chilembwe's new church in Nyasaland, now Malawi. Has his hat on, does Chilembwe, defying the colonial rule that forbade Africans from wearing hats in front of white people. A year later, he led an uprising against colonial rule and was killed, and his church was destroyed by the colonial police. So that's what they're commemorating in this fourth plinth. And it's a plinth that actually remained empty for a really long time, until I think the Royal Society of Arts and Manufacturing and what have you got it up and running as something for more modern art, contemporary art, compared to all the other plinths around here that just sort of have military figures on them and things like that. Fairly generic military figures. There we go. I know the lighting isn't brilliant, but I hope that's okay for you. If you just joined the stream, welcome. This is me, Angela, with Luke.
Hey, how's it going?
Who was checking the stream, because last time I did a stream it crashed badly and I didn't know. And you all got a blurry stream.
Yeah,
I was unaware, so Luke's on it today. So we're just joining the tourists walking around Trafalgar Square, seeing what July is like in the height of summer in the tourist season. So if you can't get here, or you've been here, or you're interested to see what it's like here, enjoy. As I point you towards St Martin in the Fields Church, I've got a real soft spot for St Martin in the Fields Church. It's kind of almost like a church of protest. It calls itself a church with the always open door. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Ibrahim, that you could hear me chatting. Yeah, we did have a few technical problems, as is inevitably the case with me. And the gimbal misbehaved, all sorts of troubles. Anyway, so St Martin in the Fields Church, which I love, and I particularly love the Crypt Cafe. Look, I try not to be unpleasant about it. It's good enough food, it's good enough coffee. In my opinion, it was better a few years ago, so that's the negative. But I actually go there all the time. If I need a drink and a sit down in a cool Crypt Cafe, I go to the St Martin in the Fields Church Crypt Cafe. There's a bus. So I'm walking to this end. I'm going to show you something. Depends how familiar you are with this part of town. If you're not at all, it doesn't actually matter. We're in the north part of Trafalgar Square now. And some people are staring at me because I talk to myself, apparently. Pigeon just literally flew over my head. I don't know how they don't get caught. So, St Martin in the Fields Church. I'm just going to point you around the corner. And here we have the Hidden Cafe, as they like to call it. A nice way to support their work. They do a lot of work for the destitute, homeless, and they always have done. And I think, yep, yes, you're right, Ibrahim. I often do end up meeting up with a friend afterwards. Not today, we've already had lunch today.
Yeah.
But that's me and Luke. So, wish I could remember the name of the pub. It was really good. The Clarence, I think it was called the Clarence. Fantastic, really nice food. I'll put a picture if I can. So I'm coming around the side of the National Gallery here. That's Larry's, where you can have brunch, afternoon tea, things like that. And then if you look in that direction, so you've got Edith Cavell here, her statue. Sorry, just get this bus past. And then we would enter Theatreland over there. So we got the Chandos pub right on the corner. Sorry. and the bus has just blocked the view to St Martin's Lane, so you'll catch a lot of the edge of Theatreland up through there and then through to Covent Garden, and I'll do another walk there another day. And William IV Street, who was quite instrumental in the development of this area. Now, National Portrait Gallery here, MPO. There it is. And if we just continue, we're on Charing Cross Road now. If we just continue up Charing Cross Road, oh, Mount Edith Cavell in Alberta. I didn't know that. That's fascinating. I'm trying to watch the comments, but I'm also looking around. So if I miss you, don't take it personally. Just not that competent with this sort of stuff. So. Anyway, so we're on Charing Cross Road. That would take you straight to Leicester Square. It is literally minutes from Leicester Square to walk from Trafalgar Square. But we're going to head back down here now as I walk you back through Trafalgar Square. It's 3:15 on a Wednesday afternoon. We were promised a hot day in London. In the end, it's not that hot. Brought sun hats, sun cream. It actually rained earlier, so hey ho. There you go. I think Trafalgar Square is probably one of the most visited places in the country, because we're literally around the corner from so many other places that people visit. Behind us, as I said, is Leicester Square, and then you've got Covent Garden next to that as well. So you've got both of those very close by. You can walk all of them. I will say London is an amazing place for walking. Just come and walk around. This time of year it's very busy. Oops, somebody just bumps into me. So yeah, I think it's one of the most sort of familiar, well-visited places in the UK, because everyone sort of passes through. Now I'm just going to cross over here, see if I can get across looking that way. No one coming. I've said before, I know some of you probably think I should be waiting to legally cross the road, but hey ho, there you go. Right, and we're looking ahead to Charing Cross Station. Everybody else is crossing the road and I'm still here. Right, okay, let's go. They got that cute little, they have the cute little crossing signs here. So they all have all sorts of green signs on the road crossings. Just make me happy when I see them. We're walking towards Charing Cross. Now this area technically is known as Charing Cross. So it's so much quieter here, oh my goodness. So yes, this whole area is known as Charing Cross, and if you ever look on Wikipedia, you will note, if you're looking at places in London, that they are all measured in distance from Charing Cross. This is the official, oh sorry, I didn't see that comment there. This is the official centre of London for distances. This exact spot here, not so much, but I'll show you where the exact spot is shortly. Charing Cross Hotel, I think it used to be called. I can't remember what it's called now. Charing Cross Station especially. And there is a Victorian. I'm going to cross. Hopefully that isn't coming this way. There's an awful lot of sirens going on this afternoon. Loads of them. So we're at the Strand now. Here we go. So we've got a little map telling us exactly where we are. You are here on the Strand. Was I doing that in case I'm not sure we're on the Strand? No, I know we're on the Strand. So that's the Strand heading east over there. Charing Cross Hotel here. So the Charing Cross, I mean, Charing was a village. And the point in London that all distances are done from is the position of the 12th Eleanor Cross. And ooh, I've forgotten what her name was. Eleanor to something or another. This is going to sound very professional. Her funeral procession cortege stopped at various places en route, I think from is it Lincolnshire or Norfolk, after her death. Taxi drivers, the knowledge. Oh, I didn't quite catch all of that, Ibrahim. Ooh, I'm interested now. What is it about taxi drivers and the knowledge? So yes, this was the final point of the final Eleanor Cross. And that actually isn't it. That one up there isn't it. It's a replacement by the Victorians. So this thing that we look at as the 12th Eleanor Cross isn't the 12th Eleanor Cross. It was destroyed in the war, not that war, another war, lots of wars. And the Victorians did a replacement, when in fact the original Eleanor Cross that marks Charing Cross is actually, the proper spot is down here. So we're at the end of the Strand now, walking towards Trafalgar Square. And I think Charing Cross is your closest radius from Charing Cross for the knowledge. Okay, right, that's interesting. Thanks, Ibrahim. So Charing Cross is your closest train station, tube station, that's the train and tube, if you want to get to Trafalgar Square. But you can also go from Leicester Square Station, Embankment Station, those are close too, even Covent Garden actually. As I said, all very walkable. As we arrived back at Trafalgar Square, so I just took you on a short detour off the square. And I think it's time that we had a good look at the square itself. So let's get down here, crossing the road at Trafalgar Square. Always brings its own special challenges because it's really busy. Right, let's see if I can get across here. Actually, you know what, I'll just show you down this road a little bit as well. Let me show you down here. We are right next to Westminster. Just going to walk over here, sorry. On Northumberland Avenue now. Right, let's go this way. Look right now. We stood here ages looking right earlier, and no cars came through here. Took ages for a green man to turn up, or green something. Oh, cars coming, cars coming. So we got museums, we got galleries, we got cultural spaces, we got enemies, consulates, embassies, as I already said. Now, oh, here we are, and we got our little green sign to cross here. As I said, they're very sweet. Little kiddies underfoot. So it's an interesting thing. I am crossing a road that is owned by Westminster Council, whereas the square itself is actually owned by the King. Yeah, King owns that. So when you're wandering around Trafalgar Square, you're in the King's territory. When you're on the roads, it's Westminster Council territory. Yes, it is. So why did I want to come this way? We are on Whitehall. We are on Whitehall now. And don't forget, Buckingham Palace is not where all royal kings and queens resided, because they used to have a palace down at Whitehall and at St James's as well. And I mean, that person nearly got run over. That's not good. So I am pointing you straight down to Westminster. You just see Big Ben up there. There's Big Ben. And obviously Westminster, Houses of Parliament, all that type of stuff. And also 10 Downing Street. So if you want to go to Downing Street, that's your way. Let's get across. Yep, got a green here as well. And as I said, this walk is not so much a historical one as just to show you what on earth is going on here. In July, in London, if you really want to get a feel for that, here's your spot. So yes, I just crossed over at speed, and that would take you down there. And here is Admiralty Arch, which you currently can't see, because it's under reconstruction, refurbishment, and it's been like that for some considerable amount of time, which is a real shame, because I really like Admiralty Arch. So the big processional arch, and a white taxi has just blocked your view down here. to Buckingham Palace. So I don't know if you can quite see Buckingham Palace through here. Let me just see if I can get a bit further along. Hopefully the lights will change for these guys here. Right, Buckingham Palace, straight down there. Okay, Pall Mall, the Mall, places like that. So any procession would normally have gone through here and look very grand, but unfortunately at the moment it's under reconstruction, and I think it's going to be that way for quite a lot longer as well. Okay, let's cross, so there's no road access here, so all good. Let's have a look. No, you can't see anything there. That's so disappointing. Really like that. So here we are crossing again. We got a green man this time. As I said, as we walk along the roads and pavements of Westminster before heading into the square that is owned by the King. So here we are, Charing Cross Underground Station. Okay, thanks. Has it come back? Ibrahim, Luke's with me. Is the video working, Luke?
It's a little bit low res, was choppy. It seems to be looking a little smoother now.
Okay.
The resolution will catch up.
Okay.
Probably
right.
just a signal.
Probably a weak signal there. Okay. Let's keep an eye on it. Also, if I can always stop the stream and restart it otherwise.
Right.
So here's a blocked subway entrance. Even though I'm saying that Charing Cross has a subway exit entrance here, can't use it. Okay, not to worry. Luke is checking to see if it's working or not at the moment.
Yeah.
Working, or is it still choppy?
Seems to have gone a really low bit now.
Okay.
On my end. But I think with live streams, there's only so much you can do really. The signal's not going to be there.
Yeah. What does it say?
So basically, I go into settings, quality, advanced settings, and have it set to 1080p.
Yeah.
It's possible that it's just not refreshed on my end. I'm going to see if I can refresh it maybe.
Are there any comments? Now choppy again. Thanks, Ibrahim. If it's too choppy, I'll restart. That looks choppy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm afraid there's only so much you can do when it comes to data and signals. And
Yeah, I know. It's tricky, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's a shame really.
Yeah, I know. I know. Right, well, I'll walk a little bit more, and then if it doesn't pick up, I'll just bring the stream to an end, I think, and do it that way. Is it still choppy?
I think it's getting there, hopefully.
I think it's getting there.
Hopefully, it seems a little bit more clearer now.
Yeah, it does look a bit clearer now. I thought I'd just stand still and stop giving the data so much information.
Yeah, I see that. There's a pretty fountain over there, aren't there? That's any good to look at.
I don't know. Well, we got the bronze lions.
Oh yeah, that's good as well.
So these are the bronze lions, the famous bronze lions. For myself, I'm okay to continue watching. Thanks, Ibrahim. So let's have a look at these famous bronze lions. I think they were made from recycled cannons or something like that, as I recall. I'm researching another video on this at the moment. And unfortunately, look, okay, I get it. Everybody wants their pictures with the lions. Of course they want their pictures with the lions. They're majestic. But of course, that takes a bit of a toll on the lions, doesn't it? So the poor lions.
Okay, it seems to be back.
Okay.
Happy to help as much as I can.
So yes, they've been attempting to get people not to clamber on them. Now lost video connection. Let's see if it's going to come back. I'll give it a minute, see if it will come back. And this is why people don't live stream, because it's really complicated. Oh, I'd love it if I could get this working properly. Back now, woohoo, we are back. It's going to be an editing job, isn't it, if I try and make this live on the channel. Okay, so as I said, we get it. Of course people want to clamber around on the lions, and it is difficult. What are you going to do? You know, you can't entirely stop people doing that. They're actually called the Landseer lions. It's a nickname, the Landseer lions, after the artist who made them. So it's actually an artist, not really a sculptor who made these. He needed a lot of help, and I think he used a dead lion from London Zoo to sort of mould and sort of create a representation of lions. But in the end, the dead lion started to go off. So it was a bit of a tough job getting his lions looking perfect. And I think there's been some criticism that the paws, because the lion had gone a bit putrid that he was using as his reference, there is a complaint that these paws are actually more like cat paws than lion paws. I don't know, I'm not an expert on lion paws. Now these sort of mould sculptures here are the successful battles, the successful campaigns of Lord Nelson. So if I just, Lord, is he Lord? Oh, I don't know, Admiral Nelson, Vice Admiral Nelson, Horatio Nelson. Anyway, I can't quite get it up to the top because I'm too close at the moment. Yeah. It's interesting actually, yes. Let me just get over here, out the way, and then I'm in Vancouver. That's what I thought, Ibrahim. It's in Vancouver, isn't it? Right, here we go. Let's get a bit further away. So Admiral Nelson was an incredibly successful naval commander, and he led many campaigns during, for example, the Napoleonic Wars. And the Battle of Trafalgar against the Spaniards and the French were very successful campaigns. It was a very successful bit of the war, apart from the fact that Nelson got killed. So he was on HMS Victory, and he was killed by a French sniper. So even though the battle was won, Nelson actually died in the process, and there was a massive outpouring of grief for Nelson, and he had a very majestic funeral actually. For 30 years before gentlemen, gentry, MPs, those types of things decided maybe we should commemorate him. So when they sort of decided where to put it, the British government said, why don't you have Trafalgar Square and pop him there? Now I think there was a little bit of controversy that it would overshadow the National Gallery, which was already up and running by then. But no, up it went. It was a bit of a messy project. There were accusations of cronyism, favouritism, hence the Landseer thing going on. Mismanagement, disorganisation, chipping far more than expected. So it was a messy project. It was a very messy project, this whole endeavour. Now, Trafalgar Square itself used to be a royal mews. Yes, as in M-E-W-S, mews, not muse as in M-U-S-E, but royal mews. But what does that mean? I just missed that Canadian connection from Ibrahim. I think Luke's going to have to read out all the information that Ibrahim's posting because it's fascinating, I can tell. And I know there are Canadian connections here because I think the fountains, the original fountains are in Ottawa now, or something like that. But yeah, so this was originally stables, posh stables, quite posh stables for the king's horses, from about, I think, the 14th to the 17th century. And as I said, that was when the palaces were more down at Whitehall, St James's, places like that. Anyway, I think it was King George IV wanted to go to Buckingham. Well, it wasn't a palace then, I think it was Buckingham House. He wanted to turn that into the palace. And at the same time they were clearing out all this area, they got rid of the stables. I think it was called the Charing Cross Clearance Project or something like that. There was also a bit of an issue around class differences. You had the posh people around the West End. Then you have the less posh people around Soho, and people are trying to divide everybody. Yep. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Trafalgar Street's in Vancouver, Nelson Street in Vancouver. Interesting. So Trafalgar Square was built on the spot of old stables. Now, the Mews at the time had a slightly different meaning, and they kept hawks here. And the hawks were part of the whole hunting thing. And Mews at that moment could also mean molting. So molting hawks were actually kept here amongst the royal stables. So that's a different use of mews. We normally think of mews as cute little courtyards where there's, the horses and carriages used to be kept, but it's also for molting hawks that all the gentry had for their hunting endeavours. Now, just past the toilets here, people don't always realise there are toilets here on Trafalgar Square, which is quite handy. The fountains. So there's some interesting stuff around the fountains. The fountains had a dual purpose. So when they were originally built, it was partly to stop reflection of the sunlight off the square. So it's such a big piece of real estate with asphalt, and it was massively reflective. So they decided they needed to stop all that massive reflection, and they put the fountains in. Yeah, they do go crazy in the fountains at New Year. It's chemically treated. And also they light them up, they do look really nice. I mean, this is what a lot of people know Trafalgar Square for as well. It's just sort of celebrating it New Year. So yes, we had the fountains were sort of to divide up the square a little bit, stop the reflection of the sunshine. However, there was another purpose, and that was actually to, if I just show you here, I think this fountain's named after, I think it's Lord Jellicoe over there. There's something else I want to show you over there if I can. So it was also to stop disorderly crowds. Disorderly crowds, I hear you say, yes, disorderly crowds. So I point you in that direction, you can see down to Big Ben. Live stream for a live fountain, absolutely. So this is a traditional area of protest. I'm pointing at the South African Embassy. You can imagine there are anti-apartheid demonstrations here. But if you've been anti-anything, you've come here over the decades, if not centuries. Anti-climate change, anti-war, nearly anything, okay? And here's your spot. Now, that's got a long history. Bloody Sunday, for example, happened here. I can't remember off the top of my head other stuff, lots of other stuff. We've got water on the lens now. But that meant that crowds gathered here. And so a secondary, oh my goodness, we're getting soaked. I'm pointing at Jellicoe now because I'm getting water and Mr. Beatty as well. So yes, a secondary, too polite to demonstrate in theory, yeah. So yes, it was to help stop the crowds gathering quite so easily by putting fountains in between everybody. I don't know how successful it is. It has remained as a place of protest. I'm just the other side of the fountain now, so it's not so windy. I just want to show you something here. I'm going to slightly puzzle the people sitting on the benches. Right, here. This is what I want to show you. Hope you can still get a signal. Imperial standards of length, placed on this site by the Standards Department of the Board of Trade. And there it is, standards of length at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And we've got some measurements here of 1 foot, 2 feet, imperial yard, and a little 1 inch at the end as well. So this obviously dates from the days when standardised measurements were important, and it wasn't quite so easy to sort all that out. And there's all sorts of stuff about ploughs and furrows and what everybody's getting soaked. Signal fine so far, thanks Ibrahim. Everyone's getting soaked over there. Yeah, the wind's picked up a bit, probably just as well I put a mic on. I was going to do it without the mic. It's quite funny seeing people get wet in the... Sorry, it's just wrong. Oh, look at the pigeon. Why am I excited to see a pigeon? So pigeons were a very controversial thing in Trafalgar Square. There you go, Pidgey. I probably wouldn't drink water if I were you, mate. It might have chemicals in it, as already alluded to. maybe cool yourself down, I don't know. But pigeons are very controversial, and they were banned. The Mayor of London banned pigeons in Trafalgar Square. Did you know you could ban pigeons? Yes, you can. So even from the Victorian era, pigeons, pigeon feeders, and pigeon seed sellers were a big thing, even for the Victorians. And I don't know if you remember it in days of old, pictures at Trafalgar Square. Yep. Oh, really? So, yeah, Ibrahim has probably pictures of him here. Were there pigeons, Ibrahim? Were there pigeons? Because it was decided they were a public health hazard. Poor old Nelson's column got absolutely covered in pigeon poo. Covered in pigeon poo. I can't remember the repair bill. It was like 147,000 or something like that to do him up in 2006, which is when we found out Nelson's column was 4 metres shorter than they thought, or something like, no, 0.4 of a metre shorter than they thought. So it's actually a shorter, it's not 52, shorter. Now, there's some people sitting here wondering why I would be pointing my camera here. That is erroneously called an old police station sometimes, but it's not. It's an old police lookout point. And for said protests, okay, in the 1920s, I think they put this one together. So when there were protests in the square, they wanted a police lookout, so they kind of hid him, probably a him back then, hid him here. And it was considered quite ugly, so they tried to sort of put this thing over the top of it, make it look a bit better. So this is an old police lookout, and I think it has a direct telephone link down to Scotland Yard, which is further down the road from here. It is now a storage item for the cleaners, which is just so funny. Yeah, so Ibrahim says he would definitely chase the pigeons. Yeah, I think it's probably a memory that many people have of Trafalgar Square. Now, Charing Cross Underground Station, here is an entrance that actually works. So I was just over the other side of the square and it wasn't working, it was shut. But this one is definitely open here. So you can go to Charing Cross Station from here, which is something I've never done. I just wander down the road and walk back to Waterloo, which is my actual station of choice. Okay, I'm going to walk back to the centre of the square and finish up the stream now, I think. Just to show you touristy London, look at that. Look at the crowds, okay? London is a heaving and a jumping with people from all over the world. We were just down at Westminster. I was there with Luke, who was recording for his channel.
Yes, I was.
Would you like to name your channel, Luke?
Myth Luke. My YouTube channel is Myth Luke.
Myth Luke, okay? So Myth Luke is Luke's YouTube channel, in which he talks about living with hidden disabilities.
Yeah. The video I was doing today was me using Google Maps to get from Waterloo to Big Ben. Had to figure it out on my own.
Yes, you did.
Part of my independence training.
Independence training, how to use Google Maps to get around London. And Westminster, I mean, you just couldn't walk. Actually, around the London Eye, you couldn't walk. It was just this. And as you can see, it's pretty busy here as well. So, anyway, I think I'll bring the stream to an end here. I do hope you've enjoyed just having a wander around Trafalgar Square as the tourist season kicks in, amongst school kids, families, everybody's just here enjoying it. Anyway, I hope it's been a good stream for you. And if you want to see more streams just around tourist London, thank you Ibrahim, and best wishes to you after everything that's been going on for you. And I do hope, you know, those of you who can't make it here or want to have a good look at what it feels like to be here, or have been here and just want to remember what it's like to be here. If you want more videos like this, let me know. I'll happily take you around the tourist haunts of London at the height of summer. Just going to do a final pan before I sign off, and I'll say I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Now we try to switch it off, obviously.